Han Solo in Carbonite Novelty Desk Light. It might be labeled as Han Solo 3D Wall Desk LED light. And this is on sale right now at ThinkGeek for $9.99, so it's a really good price because regular price is $39.99 retail. I actually picked up several of these because it's pretty cool. The only thing is it's battery powered. It uses 3 AA batteries, and while that would probably last a very, very long time, even if you left it on the whole time, I decided to wire it to run off outlet power. So I was inspired by a few videos on how to do this. It's really simple. I've basically scavenged from my surplus stuff a couple USB chargers, one you can recognize as an old Apple USB charger, and a spare USB cable. All I did here was strip this the end of the USB cable that supplies power. There's one red wire, one black wire. And those supply power to whatever you're plugging it into. There's a white wire and a green wire that I cut because we're not transmitting any data or anything. So I did that. I know that this light uses 3 AA batteries. So if you multiply that 3 times 1.5, you need a 4.5 volt DC supply, and most USB is 5 volts, so as long as you're within 1 volt, you're okay with that. Also, from the specs in the on the back of this light, and also the specs in the instruction manual, it's supposed to draw 50 milliamps, so 0.05 amps, which is hardly anything because there's only 3 LED lights. And these chargers are, I think, around 1 amp, but as long as it's higher or equal to what it's going to draw, that's fine, because it only draw that much. I actually used a kilowatt to measure what it draws, and it's actually something like 10 milliamps. I mean, that it actually draws. And wattage, I think it's like 0.6 watts that it actually draws once it's plugged in. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. I'll show you how I connected it. Here's the back of the light with the battery case open. You can see it takes 3 AA batteries, and if you look really closely, and I figured this out pretty quickly, is that you can tell that when the 3 batteries are in place, and I didn't want to actually remove the back and get behind it, but you can tell that these 2 connectors share a connection behind it, and over here on this side, these 2. So basically, this is how the power runs, like this. And so this is the negative end power, and this is the positive end. So you know where to connect those 2 wires from the USB cable that's going to supply power. So let's do that. Permanently solder the wires yet, because I just was doing a test here. If I wanted to keep this open to still use batteries, then you kind of want to make it neater so that you can fit the batteries back in if you wanted to have a choice of what you wanted to use. So what I did was I just put these little connectors right onto the wire so that I can slip it behind the connector here just temporarily until I figure out how I want to do this. I might want to later on get nicer adapter connectors to plug my power supply in. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of slide this connector in, and then this allows me also to kind of hide this over here and put the cover back on as well. So let's fire this up.